Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Space 2, where I have been doing a little bit of strategizing. We have a tactical problem, don't get me wrong, we're not done with the Cravers by any stretch, but I'm trying to look ahead to where we need to be. And I was thinking about declaring war. This is the wrong screen, I want this one. I was thinking about declaring war on behalf of my allies to maybe try to get some of them working together toward the process of getting a hold of another capital world out on the other side of the galaxy. Right at the moment, Blue and I are sort of working together on this problem, but over here, nobody is working toward taking a home system at all. It's very lazy. So, I was thinking maybe a good idea to try to pick off the individuals, the people who are not in big alliances. And I realized something. I was like, okay, well, let's figure out where the Vodyani homeworld is, and we'll see if we can't have at them. We can't see a single Vodyani anything except for these two little fleets here in the middle of the galaxy. Nobody has any idea where the Vodyani are. We control a significant portion of the real estate in the entire galaxy, and nobody has vision of a single Vodyani world. Now, we do see an arc, and if you're not familiar with the game, the Vodyani have a very weird settlement system. This arc is essentially a system colony that can move around. But somewhere they must actually be in control of worlds, presumably. Maybe they're over here, but maybe these ships are just in this area because, you know, the center of the galaxy is generally valuable. So that's a thing that maybe... I wish there was any way I could direct my allies to do that, but if we could find the Vodyani homeworld and I could set my 3 allies up here to war against them, that would probably be pretty helpful. I'm definitely a little leery of going to war against the Sheridan, because it looks like their territory is huge. They might be incredibly powerful, and I'm really worried that if I declare war on that alliance, my allies are going to get crushed one by one, and I will not, we currently just do not have the ability to come and save them. So, I guess what I'm saying is, for now, let's not mess with it. Let's just keep our eyes on our own paper, sort of. So we have to resolve the Wasat thing. Unfortunately, that's just going to take a while. This is what happens when you don't conquer the planet in a single go at the very beginning. You get stuck in that depopulation cycle. Kuma is never going to resolve unless until the blue ship moves away, so we'll just hope that they are going to actually do that at some point. We have no way of influencing their decision there. I do not feel any reason to shout at these guys about their ships being in my airspace. Not yet, anyway. So I guess we're cool to just keep moving here. So I I saw something strange while I was out walking the dog this morning. It's been on my mind ever since. I was getting back to the house, and I was approaching the house from one side, and the neighbor on the other side is like an older guy, maybe, I don't know, 70s, who I've said hi to, sort of like basically cordial to, but who I have not actually like met or spoken to at all, was out looking in his garbage can. It's garbage day, so the garbage truck comes along in the morning, and then you take your cans back in. I thought that's what he was doing. He was checking in his garbage can to make sure that they had already taken the garbage, and then he was going to wheel it back. But as I'm approaching the house, he's looking. He's got the lid of the garbage can open. He's looking down in there. As I'm approaching, he looks over at me and is startled, like he didn't notice I was there, and that's okay, like fine, whatever. He's very focused on his garbage for whatever reason. Then he turns around and like hurries across the street, and I realize that's not the neighbor, that's some other guy. The guy runs across the street, grabs the trash can in front of that house across the street, and wheels it back and goes inside, because that's his house over there. Why is he investigating my neighbor's trash cans? I have no idea. It was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen, and he really seemed like he did not want to be caught doing it, which was very odd. Oh dear, anarchy has begun. Your empire has fallen into anarchy. Somebody has done a hacking on us and has blown up my government, apparently. I think that's the only way that this could have happened without us, being aware of it ahead of time. Okay, once a turn has passed, a government of type Federation will be established. So somebody hacked my capital, right? I think that's how that works. Yep, Altair was compromised. Well, that's not really a big deal, I don't think. think we'll be okay. We'll probably want to switch it back, but we'll be okay. We're getting closer to being able to run this. Hold on a second. Can we get a clear accounting of how much science is coming from our current agreements? It's a lot, actually. It's a considerable amount. The science agreements are really, really helpful, actually. I would like another one. How much influence per turn? Because our influence amount is still rising. I'm going to refuse this treaty for now, but we're getting closer to the point where that is a thing we can actually afford to do. So now we do have encryption up on Altair. Yeah, it's not enough for us to have completed the trace back on the hack that arrived there. Well, that's definitely annoying. So unfortunately that means we lose all of our laws, which means that our Empire approval has plummeted. Next turn, when our government reforms into a federation, we will be able to reinstate some laws, and then we can consider whether it's worth the effort of switching back to a republic or what we want to do from there. For right now, I guess there's nothing for it. Just keep fighting, everybody. So I removed my tag from this world, right? I'm gonna dismiss their tag. I can't actually dismiss their tag, but I can dismiss my vision of their tag. Yeah, let's hope that Blue eventually figures out what I'm trying to express here. So we have a question with this military behemoth. Do we want to join up with these guys, or do we want to use this to harass elsewhere? Because we could, like, fly it to ESO and just try to make it so that they feel like they have to respond in more than one location. I want to try to stretch their navy as thin as possible. I suppose it is dangerous, though, to just hang a military behemoth out by itself, because they have cloaking, which means that we don't actually know where their ships are. I think I'm just gonna have it join up with the fleet. A little bit of mutual defense, you know. We're real close to those new hulls. We know that there are bad guys over here. You know what I would really love is some kind of defense force over here. Whatever, just type something. I'm not certain you have to type anything, but I want the AI to understand that this is important, and I can't imagine they're, like, you know, reading. But they can see the characters there. They can see that there are many characters and know that I feel strongly about this. Alright, what is the curiosity that's glowing here? It is a subterranean curiosity. So they've got an okay world here. It's a bit sciencey, obviously not great for our purposes. It's also probably completely depleted, so that reduces the value of it. I mean, like, anything we take from the Cravers is going to not be very valuable. Where's the final photobomber thing? Oh man, it's all the way over there. I cannot realistically work on that. And unfortunately, this is not... I wish that stuff like this kept track of your number. So like, it should show me 7 of 8 are done and X of those are yours. I think we have 4? It's either 3 or 4. So we're going to get first place, most likely. If we have 3, it's possible we won't, but I think we searched 4 of them. I don't know. At this point, it's too late to correct it. We're certainly not going to be able to get the last one. So... what do we want to do with these probe ships? I guess what we should do with these probe ships is, the scout ships rather, is figure out exactly what the Hisho territory looks like in case we have to do a thing. You know, in case they're feeling a little unreasonable. I guess another thing we could do is try to feel out if there are any undiscovered systems, things that are not linked to constellations. Sometimes those can be valuable, although I don't know that we really want to be colonizing anything additional at this point. Maybe you should just come home. Maybe you've done your job. And how long can it possibly be before I get attacked here, right? Let's just send this ship home. Good to know where Junder is, and also good to know that it's not that far away. What's going on with my hacks right now? I'm running a hack from Osulo to Hydrus. That's right, trying to get to 5 sleepers in the Riftborn Empire. And we're running a trace right now from Nollan to somewhere Unfortunately, not a ton that we can do to affect the effectiveness of the trace. It's going to happen as it's going to happen. So what I would like to do here is take Wasat. I mean, I guess we have to take Wasat. I can't let him have it back, probably for strategic reasons. It's too good of a place to launch attacks on the rest of my territory. We'd like Lakim. We need Jundert in order to win the game. And then we could let him keep the rest of his stuff and just negotiate out from there and try to sell some of his stuff to the Academy if we can. Because I still would like to see what that what that mechanic actually looks like. We have no idea what the resource tithe is, or also we are hemorrhaging money at an incredible rate. We're building dust buildings in a couple of places, but this is pretty harsh. We'll be better off in a second here when we can re-govern. Yep, just keep. So we brought a bunch more manpower. We're just gonna keep pushing them. They're just gonna keep burning population, and eventually they will be out of population to burn. All right, the builder. Even more building ability. It's right there in your name. Okay. Yep, they're drafting down to 12 population. Nakalim was successfully compromised. We did not get the trace finished in time. Okay, so let's go have a look at our new government. So we have just the pacifist party in. Obviously, this is pretty bad for us. There will be a natural election in 4 turns. We need to do something in the meantime to deal with the lack of approval here. We can, of course, just do this again. It wouldn't be the end of the world. We probably have to, actually, to do anything to deal with our disapproval. That sucks. That ability to force somebody to change government really sucks if they are reliant on particular laws. So that's got us back to 47. That hasn't changed our... Oh, okay. I was gonna say we should be losing a lot less money now that we're happier and the systems are no longer suffering from a massive dust penalty. But right, one of the laws I enacted reduces the amount of dust that we're making. Well, the dust problem is not a real problem. We can certainly just create an additional... well, we can sell a bunch of resources. It's not a big deal. I don't think it matters which way we do this. Just get over here. And this is our first chance to create a carrier. Let's talk about the carrier. Let's go have a look at this thing. Here we go. Chancellor. That is a pretty cool looking ship, as all of our ships are. And we have some interesting options here. Of course, it as you might have guessed from the name carrier, it can run fleet modules. We could run an awful lot of boarding pods if we wanted to. Or we could just go more traditional, blowing stuff up type ship. We probably want to do something different from what we're doing with our medium ships so that the enemy cannot tech their defenses against all of our vessels at the same time. I would be inclined to lean into energy weapons on these ships. But there is something to be said for the fact that our projectile weapons just do so much more damage. And we're dealing with some pretty impressive multipliers here. We definitely don't want to run torpedoes if we're even thinking about still using boarding pods anywhere. Because the more we use torpedoes, the more we incentivize them to use slugs, which obviously would be a problem. What is the thing we're researching now? We're going back into military tech, right? Are we not? I thought we were. That's right. We're researching a thing to unlock more system development. That's a worthwhile thing to do. We just need better weapon modules. So what is our mining speed here? 2.4 and 0.8 per turn. Well, that means that we probably do not want to research weapon modules made out of that tier of resources, even though they are very good weapons. I mean, we're going to get access to an antimatter-based laser weapon if this quest ever completes. So maybe the smart play... What are we looking at in terms of damage outputs? These are very slightly better than the ones we have access to now. We have a ton of titanium to work with. Advanced fusion power is maybe an okay idea. We also could start working toward the Obliterator, which is how you create a... the Obliterator is the cannon from which you fire the kind of missile that could destroy a world. So that's certainly an option. We could decide to deal with people's capital systems that way, but probably it is the case that a lot of the AI will try to citadel their capitals up, especially if they spot an Obliterator, and we know that the Cravers have already put a shield around their capital. So we're probably talking about fighting. How many turns are we... 6 turns for advanced fusion power? I was thinking, you know, if it's something we can get really quickly, we can just slip it in under mission flexibility. What would it take for me to force a change of government? You have to be at an approval threshold, which is a little tricky for us. And then it just costs a bunch of influence, which is no problem at all. So we have to get back to 50 approval somehow. Where are we at right now? We're high 40s, right? Shouldn't be that hard. Although, we don't have a ton of places left where we can actually affect a big approval movement. Alright. Right, I got distracted. We should be building this ship design. So for right now, let's make something in the interim. What we might want to do is just go for laser weapons, like I'm saying. We just overwhelm them with the fact that we have huge module multipliers on a huge number of modules. So let's say we do some of these engines, or even ram scoops, actually. Just make these things pretty fast, and then maybe like a plasma intensifier and a whole lot of opal lasers. The opal laser actually has slightly lower DPS than the Hell Array, but it has a higher crit chance, and it has that accuracy reduction thing. And we should probably be running a more balanced defensive design. We do just need some better modules. That's definitely a thing. There's also something to be said for running a tractor beam to prevent enemies from escaping, but I don't know what I would want to lose for that. So plus 10% health on squadrons and plus 10% damage on squadrons. That said, I don't think our current level of bomber tech is good enough to be worth running. In theory, they do higher damage per second against mediums, but it takes them a while to start attacking, and they don't always behave sensibly. I'm gonna do it like this, and we're gonna make 1 or 2 of these. 9 turns until we have the most dangerous ship the galaxy has ever seen. I really need this guy to fuck off. Like, this is such a problem. They have no defense left. I could handle it if he would just go away. It really doesn't make a lot of sense, though, that, like, allied fleets prevent you from doing stuff like this. So let's see. They have 45 manpower worth of defenders left. I'm going to make a Chancellor here as well. Here's hoping they don't immediately murder me for being in their airspace. So right now, Nolan has 18 command points worth of ships sitting on it. Do we want to wait for the Chancellor? I think we want to wait for the Chancellor. And then press on Lakeem. Like, there's no guarantee that we would get it, but we could at least make them start We make them start having to worry about defending it. And I think as soon as our hack is done... As soon as our hack is done on Hydrus, I think we hack Junder and start messing with them the same way they're messing with us. Should be a thing that we can do. You can do a lot of damage once you can hack somebody's capital. I mean, as you guys have seen. So in a second here, in 4 turns, when we have an election, the militarist party will easily retake the Senate. As soon as that happens, all of our approval problems go away, and then we can consider changing our laws back. Your fleet entering the system Turkana has barely slowed from super light speed when a belt of rocks circling one of the planets starts to peel off and head toward you on a carefully calibrated collision course. Yeah, man, just let it hit us. We'll study the effect. We'll learn a thing or two about this bizarre trap. So Turkana is... yeah, that's over here. I can't move for the moment because I'm studying a thing. What I can do is fire some probes. We're just going to get some vision, that's all.
I shall defend the faith.
Okay. War was declared. Was that... who did that? Was that us or them? Okay, that was somebody in my alliance declared on them. That's inconvenient for me. I don't want to have to deal with the Riftborn right now. Well, we could probably negotiate our way out of it. We can maybe negotiate our way out of it. We're definitely taking huge damage bonus on fleet. That's not a thinker. We're definitely doing the thing that we do here. Yeah, we have so much manpower. We can afford to just keep massacring them. Every time they play Protect System, they lose a little bit of effectiveness relative to us. Because we do so much more damage than they do. Obviously, this thing's just going to retreat. Oh, hey! It finally happened. They backed off. So now the question is, do we run some ships back there? Because he only has 300 manpower right now. Yeah, let's have... the siege vessels aren't actually doing anything right now because obviously because our men are on the planet's surface. So I think I'm gonna have these ships fly back here, put some manpower in the air, and then we'll hit the planet's surface. We'll take Kuma back, the wreck of Kuma. And this turn we have to do some selling. So okay, this place could definitely use some approval buildings. Now that our approval's all screwed up, give us a little bit of protection against this same thing happening in the future, which it totally will, like without a doubt, almost. All right, let's sell some resources. We certainly do not need all of this titanium. Let's sell, say, 100 titanium. That'll give us a couple more turns. And again, like as soon as we hit an election, our situation is going to change considerably. It's not necessarily going to be completely fixed, but it's going to change considerably. You can see their ownership of Kuma has advanced very slowly, thanks to our guerrilla fighters in position to remember the old government. Alright, blow that up. That money is going to be very helpful. Oh, look at that. We investigated the thing. Science pays. Your fleet is damaged but survives, and the secret of the sophisticated magnetics and guidance systems will prove worthwhile in our own industries. Good time for an industrial boost. I mean, it's always a good time for an industrial boost. Lobbyists for your empire's banks have been assailing your senators for weeks with demands to ease some of their regulations on their operations. In particular, they're requesting looser restrictions on letting ordinary citizens in space travel ventures, and on insuring ships heading out for long-distance voyages. They promise increased financial gains for your empire with minimal risks to your financial future. Yeah, everybody knows that the smartest thing you could possibly do is deregulate the banks, right? So we're going to deny that because we could really use the approval boost. Alright, we're burning them down. It's taken forever, but we're burning them down.
The faith.
You didn't actually request tribute from me. It's a weird thing to get mad about. Hey, you didn't respond to that message I didn't send you. What the hell? Let's build some mining tech here. We need antimatter coming out faster than we are currently mining it. And that system's a little bit slow to develop, a little bit slow to build ships, so. Alright, let's maybe... Ooh, let's head back to Kamos. It looks like Cran is going to have to be stopped from turning into a bustling Craver colony. Yeah, I'm not confident that we could that we would win the battle here at Kuma, even though they have no manpower in their garrison, because they're going to do a draft, right? So we want to make sure that we hit the ground with enough boots that we can win in the first turn. Because otherwise it's going to drag out the way Wasat is dragging out. Where are we at on behemoths? 0 of 3. Okay, so we would need mission flexibility and then 2 more behemoth focus techs beyond that before we could build a third one. So basically that's not going to be happening. Oh, the Cravers are doing something over here. Oh, that was a green transport fleet. Why was a green transport fleet in... What on earth were they doing? Well, I mean, I'm not exactly upset about having destroyed a green fleet. Yeah, they had to go back to draft, right? Okay, so you can see sometimes we kill a point of population, which is just hastening their inability to draft. We also blew up one of their military buildings. That's a good sign. Every time we do that, it gets a little bit easier to maintain this. I definitely have to refuse this treaty. So down here on Kamos, we still don't have the industry to be building ships very quickly. I suppose we could work on our approval a little bit here. Also that, maybe put that first. A little bit more money would not go amiss. We could use some more income. All right. Show me what's down there.
We know not what game you play, but we
I accept. I cannot be at war with you right now. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think that it really helps us to be at war with these guys. My suspicion is that my allies are going to get themselves killed if I'm not on top of this. So yeah, they might be a little bit annoyed. Listen, we'll deal with these guys when I have time to deal with these guys. Right now, it's a real dangerous thing to do for you to get us into that war. Okay, that's just a bunch of slicers. Honestly, the one commander that was already here could have handled that. We could hit the ground with... Wait, do I not have... Oh no, one of these is empty. That's right. Well, since it's in our space, it's inside of our influence bubble, it'll refill. So next turn we'll be ready to drop. And hey, you made it all the way over here where I told you to go. That's actually kind of impressive. I thought for sure we were going to get killed by random enemies as soon as we hit the node. Well... Send out some probes. What we're looking to do here is find a way through the gap. I guess we could just like fly toward here. I don't really want to open space over that distance, but maybe that is the right move. Yeah, all right. So who knows what kind of hostile nonsense awaits us in the middle of this area. All right, you're not going to do anything else. We're certainly not going to just send you over to Cran. That's a recipe for unpleasantness. This would be okay to build here. We probably need to focus on... Xenotourism is pretty bad in this system, unfortunately. So we're a few turns off of... being ready to move from Nalin. We're a few turns off of having Wasat. It's honestly... We're getting close. It's going to mass up even further. Once we have this, it's going to be so much easier to fight them. Wasad is actually like a really important pressure point here. So the election happens at the end of turn 120. The new government goes into effect at the beginning of turn 121. We have just enough money to make it through that, which means that I do not have any money to use for other stuff. And we have quite a bit of antimatter we could sell if it really came right down to it. Oh, because there's a ship in orbit. I was like, why can't I drop boots? But yeah, that'll do it. Okay, so they have nothing in the way of defense. We can almost get all of our troops on the ground even with preemptive bombing. So let's do preemptive bombing. We'll deal a little bit of bonus damage to the whatever they draft in, and then we will hit them with the tanks. It was not quite enough. This system has almost no population though, so they can't really do much. Okay, that's not actually... It's not sneaky for you to call me up and say, hey, I'm gonna do a war with you. That's not what the word sneaky means.
What is on your mind today?
Okay, I'm not trying to fight you, man. Also, if you try to fight me, we will just wipe you out. I don't think that's a good idea at all. Okay, we got 2 more points of population out of Wasat that turn. That cooperative quest ended. A new cooperative or competitive quest has begun. Make sure you own the trade company producing the most dust. No, I don't think I'm going to be in contention for that one. Alright, even more stuff. We're still not approval capped here, and again, like, problem will be largely solved once our government changes, but I'm trying to get myself in a place where I can be protected from future governmental changes, because we are not close to finishing the Cravers off. Now, the thing is, like, in order to win, we only have to take Junder, but if we want to make ourselves safe from their interference in the future, we really do have to wipe them out completely. So they flew a bunch of other ships over here invisibly, and are attacking. I think we have to run away. Yeah, there's no universe where this is a competitive battle. A lot of their ships are out of date or small and bad, but with only 2 actual ships of our own here, we just can't fight. That's fine. We have an easy retreat to friendly systems. Now, the bad part here is that now those ships are going to be able to distribute manpower. Get over to Hamal as quickly as possible. Yeah. So we're not going to get Kuma back right this second. Again, this is completely because of Blue. We would have had Kuma trivially if Blue had not blockaded it for so many turns. It's like, really, the forces of the AI are marshaled against us to make us unable to do stuff here. I'm gonna create this fleet and have them sit in guard mode here, because we could be crushing these ships. One of my sleepers is on that ship. Maybe we shouldn't blow them up. The thing is, we kind of need the money. I don't know. We can make that decision next turn when it actually is available. So we are definitely throwing our support behind the behind the militarist party. I can't imagine that we need to spend any resources on this. It's actually a surprising number of pacifist votes. What is going on? That shouldn't be happening. Like, we're doing nothing but militarist actions. Like, we're constantly building ships and stuff. Okay. It is definitely not the case. I guess that hack... I thought that hack just put... it just puts the selected party into the other player's government, but apparently it actually changes the feelings of almost all of your population in a way that can't happen sometimes based on what your population's beliefs and desires are. It's kind of strange. Okay. All pirate layers have been destroyed. That does not matter at all. The Academy was discovered a long time ago? Wasn't it? Whatever. It doesn't affect us in any way at all. It doesn't matter. Alright, create a sleeper, and then we are, in fact, going to... Oops, I forgot to click the Start Hack button there. We just run the hack straight from Nakalim to Jundar, right? Am I not allowed to... Am I not allowed to use direct pathing here? Because obviously, hacking through their stuff is a bad idea. But yeah, definitely the hotkey for go directly is not working. Well, that being the case, I guess we route like this. That's never gonna work. Nakalim's just gonna get shut down. Okay, what we need to do then is... Here, let's run it like this. We'll place an accelerator. And then we'll install a backdoor at Fidus, use that to get to Oshi. We'll build ourselves a path. Okay. Somewhere there is another minor faction, and for some reason I've become aware of them. We've become aware of them because there are a million unfallen ships at this node for some reason. Okay, and we can see the border of an actual yellow system. So this is the area where the Vodyani are. That's interesting. I'm just going to praise the hell out of them because I want their resources, but we're not going to bother trying to assimilate or anything. I still can't do this. Hold on a second. I need to get my new government in place, see what our influence output looks like, and then we can talk about that. The ground battle at Wasat, we do this, of course. They are running low. Ground battle at Kuma, it kind of doesn't matter what we do. There's zero chance of us succeeding here. We can do it this way and just like do as much damage as possible and slowly and be a real pain. The Academy and the heroes who refine their skills there can turn the tides of battles and vastly enrich systems. It is not surprising, therefore, that all civilizations in this galaxy secretly desire insight into and control over that powerful establishment. There are also, however, some peoples for whom the Academy is an insult and an abomination. Chief among these are the hardline conservatives of the Vodyani, for it is said that the leader of the Academy has an ancient religious dispute with them. These rumors appear to be true, as splinter fleets of Vodyani extremists are appearing around the galaxy to come together and attack the Academy. If they succeed, the place and its founder are likely to be destroyed, and its secrets lost. Protect the Academy by destroying the rogue Vodyani fleets. I am not interested in this. I am not going to put a lot of effort into it.
Outweigh the needs of others. Please see
Okay.
that this was necessary.
The Vodyani placing diplomatic pressure on us does, like, absolutely nothing for them, I think. Like, they don't have any way to create pressure beyond this, and this is not enough pressure to get them anywhere near making a demand or anything. I don't know why they thought this was worth their influence. So to be clear, we can do that on anybody that we want. We could just be like, we could call them up and do it right back.
Times when the church must act in its own best
Yeah,
interests.
it just costs some influence, and then it increases your influence pressure on them for a while. But like, it doesn't help us at all to do it. It doesn't help them at all to do it. I guess they were trying to cancel. They were worried we were getting near the demand threshold. I guess is why they did it. They did it as a defensive maneuver. I guess. I don't know, it doesn't really matter. Okay, that fleet is no longer obviously around Kuma, but they may still very well be there, right? Because the cloaking tech. We gotta get our anti-cloaking tech. Probably after weapons? No, maybe before. So the anti-cloak technology is in tier 4, which is going to mean it's an expensive run. Maybe we need it really, really badly, though. Can't remember. Where was we saw, like, this is the thing that lets our probes be really good at decloaking people, but there was something that gave us more passive decloaking capability, wasn't there? I thought I remembered. Maybe I'm misremembering. Well, oh yeah, it was this. This is what I was talking about. Yes, we need antimatter channeling, and we need it pretty badly, but I think we probably do have to get advanced fusion power first. We went to advanced game theory. We do have... See, part of the problem with going up here for better energy weapons is that they're made out of antimatter. If we want to use our adamantium for advanced weapons, we have to go to projectiles, which is... I mean, we've talked about the problems that creates. Yeah, I think this is the right research path. Not ideal. So do we want to shoot down one of our sleepers? We have a total of 3. That's not including this one, I imagine. So we're not that far from being able to siphon off. But we're not going to be able to use... We're not going to be using our hacks to do any siphoning for a while. So I guess let's just go ahead and shoot it down because we need the raw cash. Also, destroying his population in the air is definitely valuable for us in the war. So this is pretty good. We would love to run this. Us or them is going to give us only 20 approval per owned home system now instead of 30 because our government type no longer has the super effective laws. Do we need it? No, actually, we're back up to pretty high approval now. Remarkably high approval, actually. Why did it get back to 97? Oh, you know what? Part of it is that we're no longer suffering. So there's a penalty to approval on systems where the majority political opinion on that planet is not represented well in your government. So we were taking an approval penalty somewhat for there being no militarist party in the government while many of the citizens were militarist. But now that that's gone, apparently it's been enough. So then we don't necessarily need to swap the government back if we're holding okay. And we're only holding okay because we're using our law slots for things that we don't want to be using our law slots for. Okay, well, let's abolish the Senator Bob Act. That didn't actually hurt our happiness that much. And then maybe just go back to Spoils of War? So this added a system to the over... Okay. So this added some systems to our overcolonization limit, which helped with our approval some. Cheaper luxury costs on our system developments is fine, but not great. I mean, I would prefer to go back to a republic, but if we change government, it's going to cause another period of rebellion, and I'm not sure that it's worth it. The more intense laws are pretty cool, but yeah, I'm really not sure that it's worth it. I think we might just go Deadly Intent instead of Spoils of War. Let's try to actually win this war. So now we have a sense of what our cash flow looks like. Okay, they currently don't have anyone at Cran. I'm going to go over there and try to starve them out. This will probably... Oh, wait, I don't know that they don't... Hold on, turn around, I'm dumb. I don't know that they don't have anyone at Cran. They have cloaking technology. Well, we're working on it. We'll get there. You guys need to chill right here, refill on manpower, and heal up. Actually, I'm gonna have them move to Aquarius. You guys should cross to Aquarius as well, because that is where we're going to meet up with the new vessel. And we're still hemorrhaging money, but it's not as bad, at least. Minus 688 is something we can probably live with. For the moment. Someday, the Siege of Wasat will end. But until we have anti-cloaking tech, I'm a little nervous about pulling people away from, about moving the fleet in multiple pieces because I have no idea where the enemies are. So we're just going to Death Ball for safety here. Alright, stuff is happening. Lots and lots of stuff is happening. Oh, our hero has naturally recovered from his injuries, which is good. For sure, increase shield absorption on the fleet. Altair has been compromised again, but in a way that we cannot really do anything about. There's not a ton of counterplay in the hacking system. We could pull some domestic surveillance for a little while.
The cold dark of space is
Really can't do this. Our alliance has vision of an awful lot of the galaxy. The Pirate League has been crushed. Though a few scattered fleets may continue their line of work, the galaxy has become a safer and more predictable place to do business as long as you're nowhere near Craver space. More boring, yes, but more predictable. It seems, however, that the leader of the League was as wily as his reputation indicated, as he has escaped with a small but powerful fleet to continue his briefly interrupted career. He is all the way up there in a place that I can't really interact with, so that's where he's going to stay. Also, man, it's going to be a real pain to fight the Riftborn. At least we can maybe get a little bit of an assist from Blue on that. Okay, here we are absolutely blowing that up. That'll pay for my government for a couple more turns. Alright, we dealt with the Naxagoras. Godel is close to unlocking the new tier. I think he's at Nakalim. What is Nakalim? I don't even... Okay, Nakalim. Nakalim does not have much in the way of resources. So, this obviously is less valuable than it could be elsewhere. We could just move him elsewhere, but I think we really need to keep Nakalim strong. Like, he's helping a lot here. Now that our original hero is back in action, though, what we could do is assign Moyakupas to Nakalim. He certainly provides some benefit. And then we could swap Godel elsewhere. Now, he provides a lot less industry than Godel does, which is going to slow down the construction of the very important warships, right? Because Godel's industry bonuses are... Yeah, it's a flat 60 industry on top of what the other guy has, which as a percentage of Nakalim's total industry is still considerable. I'm just thinking, like, if we could move Godel to a place where we're mining antimatter, that would be pretty helpful, but I don't think we should do that. Alright, so let's maybe put our man down here on Hamal. He can give Hamal that big influence boost, and then that'll get even greater with the Culture Center. He is still providing some industry, and Hamal will be building ships again soon. Alright, in both of these places, we just fight hard. Yeah, Wasat is, at this point, having a really hard time surviving battle, even while drafting. And then here, yeah, we're just trying to do as much damage as we can. That fleet is definitely still here, because all that manpower is still here. Nakalim has completed the Chancellor and begins building a second one. I don't see any reason not to. Over on Kamos, people are happier, but they could be even happier. 80% is not... it's not in a different quantum of approval, so I don't know if this is necessarily worth doing. I guess let's talk about our new system development. What do we do here? We don't have access to Transvine. Could we? Is there a lot of it on the market? No, there's not, and it's very expensive. There's some, but like this is an amount where I think we probably would not be able to reliably purchase it. On the other hand, Jade Onyx, people are selling Jade Onyx enough that I suspect that we'll see Jade Onyx continue to flood the market. So I would not be uncomfortable using Jade Onyx for the development. So we could do like that and this. The value of this would be halved, right? Because it's a system level bonus, but it's still not bad. We don't have access to a lot of advanced strategics, unfortunately. Gigalattice would be cool. Meta Intactogen would be cool. Honestly, even Eden Incense would be cool. Hold on, let's back out. What are we near? Not a lot, really. Okay, there's Emianthoid on Aquarius, which obviously makes ground invasions incredibly frustrating for the attacker. But yeah, we don't really have access to anything else nearby. Like, there's not even anything in Craver space that we could take over. All of the good luxury resources spawned elsewhere. I mean, there's a lot of Amianthoid around, that's for sure. There is Transvine not that far away. I wonder if we could trade with green for it?
In this cosmos we have come to understand.
Alright, because we're at a truce right now, our diplomatic options with them are extremely limited. It would be nice to have a little bit of approval defense, again, in case of shenanigans. So we could do Transvine Jadonics. That's going to mean that each system development is quite expensive, however. We don't need the extra food anymore. As much as Blue Cat Mold is like not our most ideal thing, I do appreciate that we are growing it ourselves. We could go for Dark Glitter. Dark Glitter will make our systems better defended, but as you can see, the Cravers are not, like, they're not super aggressive. They took a system from us, but they haven't even attempted to take another. I'm not sure that defense boosts are what we need right now. This is going to end up being 30 science per system. Over the number of systems we're talking about, it ends up being a pretty significant amount. I feel comfortable with that. And then let's go ahead and do the Jadonics. We'll get there on the Jadonics. So, in order to buy 60 Jadonics at current market prices, we need to have a considerable amount of cash. We do have an awful lot of stuff. Like, I feel comfortable selling all of that. We don't need these. And we can sell some of this stuff, which is really valuable. Like, let's go ahead and buy... It'd be cool if we could get to 21k. There are a couple of... Oh, wow. Actually, Hyperium is at a premium as well right now. That'll help. We can sell some more of this. We're not going through this stuff too quickly, although it's also not that valuable. And then... This stuff's really not that valuable, but also we really don't need it. Boy, it's really not that valuable, though, huh? We could sell 45 of this and still have... only helps so much. I'm going to do this, though. So we have enough for 2 system developments, and I think I know exactly where I want to put them. Although this is going to take 2 turns to go into effect. We need more industry. So I was thinking Aquarius and Nakalim, right? And just push hard on the industry. But actually, maybe it would be better to do the 60 extra industry here. And then also it is still Nakalim, probably. Yeah, I think I like that. So that is us benefiting from the quadrant move. We're not really involved in that quest. Somebody out there is still exploring on our behalf. What could Kamos build that would matter? I mean, this is pretty bad. This is pretty bad. I guess we have 2 worlds. That's cheap and it does something. I think those are the things, maybe? Up to 7 ships in this area. Are any of them... Okay, there's a fleet of, like, combat vessels there. Mostly, though, scientific and economic behemoths. He has a lot of behemoths in general. This one took some very serious damage. We didn't see that happen. I wonder what it got into a fight with. Maybe he ended up tussling with a Craver fleet somewhere. Well, I'm glad he's alive. Alright, let's talk about this. Let's drop one of you guys from the fleet. Merge you all up, and then I guess the scout ship can go with you. We have one room, right? There's no reason not to have something equipped here. And both of my fleet heroes... Oh, you have a skill point that I should probably spend. So we don't really want clerical corrections. We want forced labor, I guess. Just 10 extra industry. It doesn't feel that great. But you don't have a lot of other options. You know what? Approval is actually relevant again. Yeah, both of our combat heroes are currently assigned, but we could pull somebody over to here. Are they both around Wasat at the moment? Yeah. That probably does not need to be the case. So, who gets pulled to manage this thing? I guess we gotta take a quick look at their abilities. 10% evasion, 30% fleet health, 30% damage. I mean, that's a lot of extra effectiveness on... that's a lot of extra effectiveness on a carrier. Do we have any more siege ships in this area? Ships with the siege modules? We have a lot of stuff floating around. We should probably merge some of these up. But no, we moved all of the siege ships out. Okay, so instead of building another Chancellor, honestly, this is what we need. So we're not going to be able to get through Lakeem just with these ships, but I think maybe this is the time to make a move. We can at least draw their attention. So we have some traditional guns. Given that this fleet is mostly seneschals, do I want to kick the commander out? Like, traditional guns and boarding pod weapons don't really work that well in concert. I know that we have not had a lot of luck with the boarding pod strategy, but if we have boarding pod ships, we should keep them grouped for maximum effectiveness. Then you can just hang out here and play guard. We could just try going straight for Junder, but we're gonna need the siege ships in play before we're any threat to Junder. How big is the garrison here? It is huge. You can see just by dint of the number of command points that we have. Oh, hey, they have their own carriers. Well, that's good to know. We have the right laws in place here, right? We have deadly intent instead of... Shoot, I sure would love to have that, what do you call it? What is that law called? The Spoils of War Act in place when fighting an enemy carrier, but I don't think we can afford it. You're not doing anything, you're just fine. Actually, maybe being guard mode? I don't know that we're going to catch anything of value moving through there with the scout, but... Okay. It is possible that my quick reaction to click on this thing before it can move away is going to get us killed. Because it may well be the case that there are, invisible ships here. I believe we would not see them on this screen. We would not notice them until we got into battle. I definitely want to run take trophies. It's gonna... Does it have any traditional weapon systems? It does. It has medium laser weapons, and then it also has some bombers, although we don't know what kind of bombers. So bombers do bonus damage against larges. The fact that we are now seeing larges from the enemy does mean that we have to reevaluate our own bomber stuff a little bit. It's all projectile defenses. I'm thinking maybe we do influential. As much as I would love to make the money here, we do want to we want to shorten the amount of time that he is at his optimal firing range. No wait, influential's bad. That puts him at medium. But I really don't want to do plasma distortion. That's right. We can't change our battle tactics right now, but we need to do that after the battle. Because these are not well suited to the task. We know he's going to be middle flotilla, so increasing his shield penetration is bad. But it's not as bad as letting him stay at his optimal range. Yeah, I think that's correct. Alright, let's see if we get him. Because at his optimal range, he's doing effectively twice as much damage. Okay, he ran. Actually really good for us. That's a lot of damage to that ship. It's a lot of damage to that very, very large ship. So I think what we want to do here is we want to stay in place for a moment. There's a civilian vessel that's about to show up, a logistical vessel. We're going to blow that up and then immediately chase him. We don't need to siege Nakalim, and I want to kill that carrier before they have the opportunity to unite it with the rest of their fleet. So that's what we're going to be doing very quickly at the beginning of the next turn. Maybe I should just start moving now. Maybe I should let the logistical vessel survive. The thing is, we're desperate for cash. Like, really desperate for cash. I think we have to do it this way. We have to kill the thing. Are my sleepers still being removed? Yeah. They are not removing them very quickly in Gautria, which is nice. Alright, so we gotta wait here. Alright, kill, and then go. If they're getting guard mode, that thing has to complete its movement at some point during the turn. Blitz was sought, they draft. They draft or they lose the planet, so I assume they will draft. I dismissed the wrong notification, but, you know, they lost population and the planet's still their system is still there, so they did it. Alright, you guys wait here for the completion of the carrier. Over here on Graphia, we're feeling very excited about the future. This is terrible for us. I think it's just ships, right? Like, as much as Graphius is not necessarily great at building ships, we don't have any other options that are meaningful. We're already pop capped. Yeah, it's just build me some military. Okay, the injured carrier has not arrived. Technically, it is the case that they could just wait here eternally, like wait for me to engage my attack, which it looks like is what they're doing. So we'll just go ahead and do this. This is going to be a retreat for sure. They will not bother to fight us here, and then they can execute their planned moves so that they get here after we've spent our action point and we can't attack them. You will sometimes see the AI engage in shenanigans like that. But the good news is, if he does that, we can still attack the thing at the beginning of next turn. It's still in there somewhere. I was hoping we would get vision of it with the probe. Alright, Wasat does not have too many more turns left under its current tactics. None of the... Yep, and here comes that. Oh, interesting. He did wait until after we'd hit end turn to commit his ship's movement, which is, like, poor sportsmanship. But his ship also didn't have enough movement to make it to the system anyway. Alright, so we can just sit here and wait then. When they arrive, they'll lose all their movement. We don't have to click on them quickly or anything. So we do the same ground assault. We got our free technology, autonomous materials. I do not remember which tech that is. Hold on a second. Sounds like an important one. Okay, apparently autonomous is a... There we go. It's this. Ah, it's the wormhole tech. Actually, a pretty cool one to get for free. Okay, they're drafting, but they're losing population rapidly. Oh, that finally happened. The Sheridan finally completed that for us. So we've gotten access to the Cleaver now. Also, some stuff that we can sell. Reputation's going up with the Pilgrims. We're fighting on Nakalim. That's no huge surprise, I suppose. Leaving this ship here was risky. I was hoping to grab some more logistical fleets, though, obviously. And then somebody intercepted the photobomber's ship before we could even read the quest objective, so they'll take over from here. But we got the one reward we wanted. Okay, what is this? The tense political rivalry between militarism and pacifism in the Lacerda system has risen to emergency levels. The militarist faction has ordered the construction of an intricate system-spanning barricade between Lacerda's inner and outer planets. Intra-system movement has been severely restricted, and many citizens have been cut off from their families and friends. The pacifist inner planets have petitioned you for help. Okay, so if we ignore them, Lacerda will be way more productive and influential. Lacerda is that one, so a big influence boost on it would actually be pretty cool. Or we could get a big approval boost, and this is a huge chance of creating a political crisis, but honestly, I think that's probably the way we're going. I don't think we can afford to go the other way. Yeah, dismiss this. Yeah, I think we need the production and the influence. So I guess we'll see. We'll see about that political crisis. There's a permanent monsoon here that we could, thanks to our autonomous materials technology, now work to reduce. It would remove the industry and approval penalty. That doesn't seem crucial. You know what? Build me an interplanetary transport network. Now that we're going to have a couple of points of population on a world that has a strategic resource deposit, we can get some benefit from that. Alright, Hamal is 2 turns off of finishing that thing. We've taken care of everything else. This, unfortunately, is just a dead ship, and there's nowhere to retreat to. They have a lot of Butcher 3s left over, it looks like. They're slightly out-of-date Butcher designs. We don't need to watch this. Go ahead and shoot somebody on your way out. There's no chance that he does enough damage to kill anything. Probably he won't even do enough damage. Oh, you know what? I was going to say probably he won't even do enough damage for it to appear on anybody's health bar. But he sure showed one of those small ships a little bit who was boss. Is he seriously just... Oh, it looks like it's just gone? Well, it can't just be gone, and as far as I know, it couldn't have gained cloaking modules while it was just in the air there. Okay, so they intend to attack Nakalim. Nakalim has a pretty considerable garrison and, obviously, a lot of population that can be pressed into its defense. Now that we have access to more advanced resources, we can also continue to improve our troop effectiveness. Like, we could make this happen. This would actually be really good. Both of these would be really good. We're going to have to figure out our economy a little bit more, though. We're still losing more money than I would like. Or rather, we are back again to losing more money than I would like. Not a ton we can do about it either. Yeah, we're still having a rough-ish go of things. I mean, we're making progress in the war. Wasat is going to flip soon, because it's just running out of population. I'm wondering... No, never mind. I was gonna talk about maybe pursuing some other kind of end to this war, but the fact is, to win the game, we have to take control of Junder. There's no version of this where we don't just kill them all. Once we have Wasat, we can use it as a staging ground. We can build ships up there. That'll make it easier to strike at Lakim and at Junder, but like this is going to take forever. It's going to be 1,000,000 years before we finish this war in this way. And again, as soon as the Cravers are done, the game is essentially over, I think. By the time we've developed a force that is capable of killing them, that force will be able to roll right over the Riftborn and everybody else. Like the Cravers are the hardest enemy that remains. It's just that it's going to be a while before we are in a position to defeat them. Well, I think that is going to have to be it for us for today, though. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time to see if we can finally prize open a crack here. I'm honestly, I'm looking at the numbers and I'm feeling a little frustrated, not by what has happened, but what I think is coming. we'll see if we can't maybe figure out an imaginative solution to move this war along. So come back tomorrow for that, and we'll see you then.